Wow, that was a very interesting episode coming up next. Before I get to the prediction, yes, I know one of the characters, and no, I do not know about Onscreen or the Own Week series that she was appearing. I just mostly play her in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 because I think it's a very interesting idea to having somewhat a deity god in the fighting franchise. And to be fair, I would say this matchup is pretty much comparison because both of them are gods and both of them are owned by Capcom for sure. And it actually seems like a reference to a yin yang. Yin being both peace and rage. So as such, I think it's a real good idea for this matchup. But for this entire matter, who I think gonna win in the next episode of FCC between Asura and Amaterasu, or is it Amaterasu? Anyways, to determine this, let's get to some stats first. And please note, I had to look up for many things about Ashby Despy and YouTube videos as well as versus Battle Wikia because I need to know to do this, knowing the characters at best. So, that being said, who I think gonna win this fight? Well, let's start with speed. It's actually quite almost similar, but the idea that speed match had to go to is unscrew. Keep in mind, both of them are massively faster than light speed at best, but one of them can actually get this one. And while came up with a career for Crusher actually have fought, but comparing to his actual speed thing, it actually comes down to who actually has a better one. And Asprey is 10 much better speed than Astro at best. You see, in comparing to them, Astro can able to go the distance of the Milky Way, which is just a 286,000 light years away, and he can eventually able to dodge and react to many of several Mara beams, which the actual match do. But looking at Astra's another Milky Way fee, which is almost highly similar to the other one that Astra have, but only different. Considering that Astra is surprisingly 69 trillion times much faster than Asura. That is much more superior to Astra's speed feed. So it's such that Oswald pretty much gets a speed feed, no doubtly. But the lipstick streak I'm giving to is Asura. As much I hate to say about character, but however, most of Ultimate feed is pretty much striking feats, not lifting feats. So at best, it's at superhuman levels at terms. And that way, I am giving the lifting points to Asura because, well, compared to his other lifting feats as well, a giant god finger, it's pretty much stated that Asura is much stronger in lifting, of course. Well, what about striking straight? Well, at best, that's Asura, actually, or is it Musri? Musri can able to spin an entire galaxy by just using her wind brush power for some reason, and especially with her other transformations as well. But looking back to Asura's fight against the final boss, Asura definitely gets this advantage because it's how much it terms how strong Asura is capable of. For starters, let's talk about how powerful he is. He was managed to fight against a god named Korana, a creator of somewhat the universe of Asura at best. And to be stated, it been stated that it shows at the highest level where what Asura at, he'll keep going stronger. Like he's somewhat a almost Saiyan like, and I can tell why because he able to keep up with a creative form god. So compared to Asura feat where she can able to spin a galaxy, and with her art transformation she can be much more powerful, but at best, Asura can able to keep up with a godlike being who has created the universe. if you really think about it. So at best, I should definitely get this striking advantage. Now, as for durability, it's actually quite suitable. If I were given them compared to the striking strength or their power best, it had to be a battle close. But if I were given a honest opinion and to their striking strength before, Astro still gets this striking, get the durability advantage. Now, keep in mind that doesn't mean that Astro at universal level, no doubtly, but comparing to a deity like say a creator that created a universe, it's actually quite surprising how Astro managed to hold. Surprising, surviving tons of damage. Hell, I can't even think of one time that he almost died. Died in an Astro rap game. Well, if you're at the game on screen at best. And yeah, Archme is actually a best in some ways categories to Asura, but I comparing to her strength and her opponent Asura, it's actually quite easy to determine that Asura definitely gets a durability feat. So as such, I am giving the durability to Asura. So this comes down to who has much more intelligence and experience against each other. This should be interesting because, Asura may be a hot-headed or hot-headed at best, but he's based on a master with combat as well as centuries of battle. Not pretty much getting an experience advantage, but for intelligence, he had to go with Ashmi. Remember, she is a deity, and she is thousands of years old. And yeah, Asura is thousands of years old as well. But unlike Asura, Ashmi pretty much is stated as the sun goddess, and she had much more memories as well past reincarnation in the past. So it's such that she is had much more experience as well, during down to Ashura's best and tender as well. But that's just one smart advantage. What about destructive? Well, Ashura definitely gets a talent and experience of destructive. So at best, both of them gets both in best that actually pretty much get the knowledge of intelligent experience, while Asura get destructive intelligent experience. Then again, it's about between bronze versus brain. So for the sake of this analysis, I am giving one for each of them. That being to Ashmi, that being the experience and as well as intelligence. So this way was now this one I know I'm gonna be cheating on this one. It's cut out to who can last the longest. Like who can last the longest of all of them. It's easy because this one is definitely go towards Asura. Cause due to how his power keep it crazy no matter how the rage she gets, Asura's still gonna win this fight easy handed. Cause it's been stated as well his own entire stamina is surprisingly extremely that high. So as such, that's much easier to say because he had much more fighting against those who had a certain amount of damage. Hell, he even lost his arms. So he's no doubt a fool to facing some other gods. And comparing to his other advantages against facing other gods, especially a culture Asian culture, Asura definitely gonna win the next fight. Because he had much more striking and linking advantage as well as durability and had far more stamina than Ashmi. Well, Ashmi does have advantages such as intelligence and experience, if we were getting at best reincarnations, as well as speed advantage. But if you really think about it, Asura is much more destructive with his lifting and striking strength, as well as face out godlike beings before, that being the creator god. So as such, overall, in my opinion, I think Asura gonna win the next episode of FFC Visual Characters Collide. And such, I am definitely gonna go towards this next episode's victor is Asura. What do you guys think? Do you agree with my opinion or not? Leave a comment section below and I'll see if I get those. With that being said, this is I never had to get knowledge of never played the games with these two. But overall I see the comparison and I like the idea that having these two fight each other. And such, I still agree that Asura will win this fight, thanks to lifting, striking, durability, as well far more stamina than Asura. And being said, I am Deso24, and hopefully I'm right with this analogy. If not, then I don't mind. See y'all next time. Happy holidays to all everyone, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.